right now. All right, let's get some action going on up here. And do the countdown. What's going on, you guys? This is Nate from Watch Big Nate TV, and tonight we're going to do our men's rap session, which we're going to start doing every Monday at 9:30. We're going to have a discussion about manhood, being a man, things of that nature. I have a couple of guests that may pop through. If they do, that's great. If not, we're going to keep it going. And tonight, we're going to really talk about, we're going to have a discussion on the meaning of manhood. And you're going to see me look away from here and there from a couple of notes. I definitely want you guys to drop your comments and all that other good stuff. So let's see here. Where do we even start? Let's just go ahead and start with a prayer, because I think a lot of this stuff, I don't care what religion you are, we should always be praying and talking to God. Oh, we have our first guest is coming up. Let's go ahead and add Mr. Oliver Roy to the session. All right, hold on. We're going to come right back to you, sir. Hold on. Let's do this real quick. Father God, I come to you in the name of Jesus Christ. We thank you for everything you do. I thank you for this wonderful day that you give us. I thank you for the guests that are getting ready to come on. I thank you for the young men that are going to watch this now and in the future. Father God, forgive us any sins we may have committed, knowing and unknowing. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, let's bring my good friend Oliver Roy back on. Mr. Roy, what's going on? I don't have a soundtrack, but we're going.
Hey, I can't complain, man. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. That camera look good. That camera look real good.
Well, thank you. It must be the makeup and the lights.
Look, I gotta get me a makeup. I gotta get me a makeup MUA up here right now. But I want you to kind of tell people about you and your program and how you came about to where you at.
Well, what we try to do, we try to support fathers who have children with disabilities and special needs. We also try to help dads be better dads, to make a long story short.
All right. So what is the name of your organization?
The name of it is called the Lanier Foundation. Okay. www.LanierFoundation.org.
All right, fine. And what got you so heavily into fatherhood?
I didn't say, turn your volume up. Somebody didn't hear you.
I said, what got you so heavily in the fatherhood?
Oh, well, I had a son with special needs, and the support for fathers at that time was insane, ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I found doors slammed in my face. I found a lot of people just didn't want to help a dad that needed help with his son, but yet you had insane programs and support for moms. Mm-hmm. So I thought something was wrong with that right there. So without naming organizations, we found one that was able to help my son, and through that, we network and help other dads.
Mm-hmm. I think that fathers get a really bad rap, and what the whole grand scheme of things, because mostly when you see single fathers or you see them in the street, you thinking that they're weekend dads or they're not really involved. The mother does everything, and the really ironic part about that is the majority of the time it's not really true.
Well, that is true. Well, they have been conditioned. They have been conditioned to think that way.
Right.
If you pay attention to even President Biden's inaugural address when he talked about moms and family, moms and children. It did not include men.
Right.
You can also look at Washington Hospital Center has a fraternity clinic or center there that is for families, but yet fathers aren't allowed in. So it's almost like fathers are being pushed out of the way, deemed not necessary, and just totally ignored in large point. But there are some organizations and some agencies that are looking at this and trying to make a change.
Right.
The DBH, Child and Families also helping out to try to make dads more conclusive. Far Southwest Collaborative, they've done a great job with their men's program. So there are some men programs out there that try to support men and delete this negativity campaign that I call it, that's going on. You know, Mother's Day is the highest grossing day of the year, next to Christmas.
Really?
Father's Day don't even rank in the top 10. Don't listen to me. Look at the numbers.
Numbers don't lie.
You know, look at the numbers.
So I was going to do the 3 type of women that take you to child support court tonight, but I really
say that part again.
I was going to do the 3 type of women that take you to child support court tonight, but I said, nah, I think we really need to start at the base.
Well, I honestly wouldn't do that, because you can't say that it's 3 type of women, because if a child is in Child and Family or care of DC, they don't need the mom's permission to take you for support. So that's no bird. That's not to say that that's their fault, because once they become DC property, well, which most of us are anyway, once you become part of DHS or Child and Family Services, they don't need your permission to pull the father in for child support.
Right. So, yeah, I just didn't think that was going to be appropriate. But I think starting at the base, where are we at? Because I did a whole study on manhood about.
Well, I'll tell you where we at. Where we at, a lot of parents feel that child support is payment for them to do whatever they want with the kid, when actually the payment is there to help support the kid.
Right.
In a lot of the situations, the child support isn't even going to anything dealing with the kid. Right. But then some of the child support is so ironic, it's insane.
Right.
I was paying child support for a kid that was living with me.
So how about I got locked up for that?
You know, so it's really ridiculous. So, and they know they need to fix it. They just don't want to.
Right. I remember with my oldest, when I got custody of him, they wouldn't take me out the system. And I got caught speeding. I got caught speeding going up Martin Luther King Avenue. And I knew the cop. He was like, man, okay. He ran he was like, your license is suspended, it's revoked. I'm like, what? So then one of the detectives, the UCs came up and he was like, revoked. So he went and looked and he said, I can't tell you what it is, but he said, I guarantee it's got something to do with child support. And I'm like, I have custody of my kids.
That's not true. You can see what it is on the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. And I sat in that holding cell for 6 hours waiting for them. So, you know, I guess.
I think it comes down to this. I think if they can, if somehow the parents can co-parent, which you can't do,
right,
in some degree in this particular situation, because I met a young couple the other day. It was a young gay couple, and they wanted to take the father for child support for the kid to help them live. And I'm like, well, what about him spending time with the kid? Oh, well, he don't need to because she has her father, but she's a mom. She can't be his father. But right. She told me I was being sexist and disrespectful. I'm like, no, the reality is, you know, children need their dads, just like they need their moms.
Right.
So they are so comfortable now with deleting the father that it should be normal. And it's not.
Right.
You know, I have no problem with a gay couple who want to adopt a same-sex kid or an opposite-sex kid. But you still got to look at the psychological and the mental development of their child coming up in the family. No one looks at that anymore. It's just this is just what I want.
I guess because everybody is not trying to offend everyone.
Well, in some cases, sir, some people just don't care. It's what I want.
Right.
I got a guy that's in my program that is paying $600 a month for child support, and he can't even see his son.
Is that
cool? I'm like, well, it's just to the point now that mentally he's a bucket case. He can't function. He wants to spend time with his kid. He's being denied that opportunity. That kid gonna grow up and hate him, which is not his fault.
Right.
It's just sick. Mind you, every dad isn't meant to be a dad. Every mom isn't meant to be a mom. Let's just make it feel even.
Right.
A dad isn't no more important to the mom, and the mom is no more important to the dad. You both have an equal responsibility to the one child.
Gotcha.
No one's paying attention to that. This is about me and mine.
So for those that are just joining us, this is Nate from Watch Big Nate TV, and this is our man's discussion from the Dad's Outreach. And we are talking about the meaning of manhood. Drop your comments below, hit that like, share, tag people into the comments, and we will definitely post your comments on here, whether you agree or disagree. I think an open dialogue needs to happen. So I am no stranger to Child and Family Services Court. And one of the things that I noticed while we were in the courtroom was a lot of the men didn't even know how to be a man or be a father, and they would herd them in and herd them out.
Well, let's take this. Excuse me for being rude. Some men don't know how to be a man. They was never brought up to be a man.
Put that way.
Some men don't have a clue or the understanding of being a man, not only because they wasn't taught, they just don't know.
Right. And
you say, well, how do you not know that? Well, if you look at the numbers within the last 10 to 15 years, I promise you that 90% to 98% of men now was raised by a single family household who was headed by the mom.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. I have a beautiful daughter. There's no way on God's earth I could ever teach her to be a man, be a woman. There are things that women go through that men would never understand.
Right.
There are things that men go through mentally, psychologically, and emotionally that women would never understand.
Right.
So people get upset with me when I say a woman can't raise a boy to be a man, and a man can't raise a girl to be a woman. To me, that's a fact.
Right.
Because we would never understand those two components as they are. So you're going to have weak men. You're going to have strong men. You're going to have strong-minded men. You're going to have sensitive men. But men are demonized when they end up with those titles. And then what do you think it does to a man to keep his child away from him? Let alone a father is just not responsible. Now, you have a lot of them. Hanging out on the corner. You can't carry your kids out there on the corner all the time, and you hanging out and doing dumb stuff where you're in and out of jail, or you always got an excuse why you can't pick them up on the weekend or even help the mom out. I don't pity those fathers. But for the ones that do their jobs, but for the ones that try to be better at, we're even talking about foster dads, stepdads, goddads. It's all the same.
Right.
So your manhood, and I'm just going to go and say, this is my opinion, when a man cannot be a part of his child's life, it does something to him. Mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. If people have not really realized, we're in a mental health tsunami.
Right.
We're at close to an end of a pandemic. A lot of people haven't been able to see some of their loved ones, and a lot of loved ones have passed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what is the wake-up point for men and women to work together for the bettering of their kid or their child?
I think the wake-up point really is starting right here. What we want to do is really, like something that you said earlier, is a lot of them were never really taught how to be a man or what they thought was a man, and the awareness of men. But I think right now, the way the world is set up, once we get women involved in this and really express how they feel about fathers and men, the good and the bad, that we can come back and address it with some of these men. Because, we've been in this game, 15, almost 20 years. And we go to these fatherhood programs, and half of them have absolutely no clue about
None.
parenthood. And we
None. But you know what?
men.
Society has made that to be okay.
Right.
Now, if we focus on something, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but if we focus on something, when you divide a family, it's easier to conquer, mentally manipulate, and mess with them than it is a strong together family. So this ain't something that happened overnight.
Right.
This did not just start in 2022. This started back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So we are dealing with the grandchildren of the children that never knew how to be parents.
So I think this goes back to the Willie Lynch letters, and it's a short read, and he really explains exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah.
All across.
Again, it's not an accident. This didn't happen overnight.
Right.
So, but in order to be willing to change, one of the things men need to do is listen. And let's just face it, Nate, most of us just don't listen. No matter what the reason or excuse is, most of us just don't listen.
At all. At all.
Now, if you get a man that won't listen and you have a woman that is determined to be right, you got a problem. It's not going to work. She wants to be right, and he just won't listen. She won't listen, and she wants to be right, and he just won't listen to be stubborn. And who sucks?
So, you know, the interesting thing about you saying that is that, I mean, of course, we're going to replay this and we, you know, down the road. And the big narrative is going to be, oh, he trying to be like Kevin Samuels and she got to be right and he this. And I'm like, no. Look, I made a lot. Nate, I made a lot of mistakes. Being a parent is not perfect and it's not easy. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from my mistakes. I'm not a perfect parent. I've been a foster parent and a parent with my kids. You're going to make mistakes. Everything is not going to be right, or what they say, peachy cream. Right. But you must learn from your mistakes and you must learn to do better. Well, hey, I'm about to drop a bomb on you. Drop it. So Friday, I went to Forestville Mall at 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay. We were living in Southeast at the time that this happened. And I met my second oldest son after 12 years. Oh, I got one better for you. Uh-huh. You ready? I just met my real father after 57. Damn. That meeting did not go the way I thought it was going to go. Like, I kept repeating myself. I'm like, say something. Say something. Like, I'm expecting him to be like, Daddy. He looked at me like, nigga, who are you? Who are you? And, you know, I told him things about his mother. I told him things about me. I told him things about his two older brothers. I told him that, you know, and you could just see he's like, you're nothing like what they said you were. Oh, I get that all the time. Mm-hmm. They said you were nothing. He said you were nothing like you said they were. So imagine how he felt. Imagine how he felt addressing you about all the lies that's been implanted to him by whomever. Right. Because one thing for sure, Nate, the truth always come out. Always. But see, people think it's okay because they're a child, they ain't gonna worry about it until they get older. But in some cases, that child learned to hate and be resentful towards you. Mm-hmm. I have a parent now that's part of the program, can't talk to his daughter because he felt so bad about what happened, but she heard so many lies about him. When she found out it wasn't true, she felt bad. So now they have a problem in communicating because she don't know who to believe, mother or the father. Mm-hmm. She's 23 now. Ain't that wild?
And the mother don't care. What she says is what it is. Well, that's not true. Mothers lie too.
So here's the ironic part about the situation. I kept saying, I said, come on, bro. I said, let me ask you a question. I said, do you like Slurpees? And he said, yeah. How'd you know? And I said, your name, do you know what your, like, how I brought it up to him, I'm like, oh, there go Pac-Man. And it was like, you could see him like, why would he call me that? Because the last time he saw me, he was like 2. And he kept saying, you know, like, it's almost like a light bulb went off. And so I asked him, I said, do you know why I called you Pac-Man? And he said, no. And I said, because when you were little, you used to snatch the food out my hand and and you read, you know, and it's just funny because here all of them look the same. That same goofy walk, the same goofy tilt your head, you know, whatever. And
did you let him know that you never stop loving him?
Exactly.
See, that is so key. Letting him know that no matter what happens between me and your mother, I will never stop loving you.
I told him, I said, I couldn't find it.
It's better to show it, but if you can't, you just can't. Right. But they have to always know that.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest fears I have with this situation. Oh, there's my dad. We got an ATM machine.
Of course, but that's how he was conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
They conditioned for that. You're not worth anything if you're not giving them money. To me, it feels almost like buying your kid or buying time with your kid. I had to go through some of the similar situation. I was like, I'm not going to pay you to see my child.
Right.
I could care later.
I could care less.
And it felt bad. It felt really bad. But no, they should not have that kind of power or that even train of thought. Well, if you don't give me money for my bill or something, you can't see your child. Well, no, we're not doing that.
So the gist of this situation, me and his mother had a huge blow up. And I just, you know, I'm like, hold fast, shorty. We need to whatever. Because we, you know, when we offline, I'll tell you the story. Because the story is a deep story. But, you know, his mother loved my oldest son. Remember when the oldest one went through the first surgery? And all the shenanigans I went through on that?
Yeah.
She loved him. She was like the emergency contact for him. I had emergency contact power for both of her kids. Like, this chick operated like he was my wife and we were friends. But we had this big blowout. And what happened was she had, during the time me and her were arguing and we wasn't talking, she had 2 strokes. And her oldest daughter is the one that reached out to me. Like, her oldest daughter is like I feel like if we're together or we had kids, I'm going to incorporate your kids with my kids until you start acting stupid.
So let me say this. What would you have done differently?
Oh, had I, damn.
See? So that's something we have to think about consistently.
Yeah, in this situation,
when we look at, when you talk about the masculinity, part of the masculinity is manning up. What would we have done differently to make the situation better?
Yeah, okay.
What could we have said differently to make the situation work out better for the both of us? Is there anything we could have done? Because we're now 20 some odd years later. Ridiculous.
Well, okay, so the oldest daughter was like 18 because when she had those 2 strokes, she died a couple of months later. And the aunt got custody of him. So the aunt was dragging people down doing, man, when I tell you God look after fools and babies, because And I had to tell him, I said, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you everything they said about me, and you don't even know me. And I rattled off 20 things about me that they said. And he was like, how did you know? How did you know? And I'm like, bro, you know what you know. And I said, I couldn't find you because if I did, you would have been with me and Miles.
That's what I told my oldest daughter, the same thing.
You would have been with me. Like, I laugh at the situation. I'm like, people ask me, how did you get custody of the oldest
What do you
one?
mean? I went down there and I applied.
And
what do you mean?
It was not easy. And it's like, you know what? We're gonna do that next week. How men get dragged in custody cases.
Well, a lot of them are scared to ask for help throughout the process.
Yeah.
A lot of them are scared to ask for help. A lot of them don't know what the hell to do. A lot of them, don't want to waste their time. Well, it's not wasting your time.
Right.
A lot of them just don't, and what we try to do is we try to connect fathers with the right pieces that will allow them to be not only a better dad, but a better advocate for their rights and for their children.
Right.
And a lot of women just don't like that.
So, again, one of the things in this manhood thing, and especially being a father, when we do these events, like the conferences and the talks, I get a lot of these young dudes, well, Nate, you gonna tell me how to get out of child support court? Bro, stay your ass right in there because you think you're gonna get custody of this kid or you're gonna get out of it. Kids are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of dads
take care of their pit bull before they take care of their kids.
A lot of fathers do not know, and I'm gonna tell them right now, and hopefully this is replayed, it can show it. A lot of fathers don't know that just because a child is born or a woman gives birth to that child, they do not have custody of that child. The only way to get custody of a child in the United States of America, men, you have to go and petition the court. Mm-hmm. That's the only way to get custody of a child or the head. And just because they get a check for that child, if you both never been in a courtroom, and there was never a court awarded custody, no one has custody of that kid.
Right.
And a lot of men just don't understand.
They don't know that. But
yeah. But they say, she got custody because she get the check and Medicaid. No, that don't mean she got custody. If you want custody, you have to petition the court.
So, okay, you know what? A lot of them are scared to walk up in the court. How many men have we seen that had custody of the kids, taking care of the kids for years? The girl come back, she do the right stuff, file for custody, he lose the kids and got to pay child support, and the courts is like,
Well, you got to remember, the system was never built or designed to help fathers.
No.
It was never built or designed to help families. It was built and designed to help single mothers.
Right.
That's it.
And here's another fun fact. I honestly believe, I'm going to say 75%. 75% of these women didn't really want to be single women.
I wouldn't say that. Here's what I would say.
Okay.
A lot of women fell into that trap of independence.
Ooh.
They don't need nobody. They don't need no man. They don't need no one to help them with their children. Once you fall into that trap, you begin to alienate the father because now you want to control the child support, the way of living. I have several men that felt as though that they could have had a better relation with their kid had they worked it out with the mom. Mm-hmm. But the mom was just resented because she wanted to be single and independent. So she felt the best way to be single and independent. Well, you don't need your child with you. And I'm like, who are you to make that decision? That's something we talk about together. Mm-hmm. But see, they have been, I don't know the right word. It's too comfortable now to assume dominance and control because you gave birth. Mm-hmm. Fathers have it's almost as if the father had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. And if you think I'm lying, or if you're thinking I'm making a mistake, look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. Look at child and family numbers. Look at the DC Superior Court numbers. Look at the numbers of the fathers that are there trying to get custody of their children, or they're trying to be a better dad, and the mother's still finding ways to knock him or to knock him down. I'm not saying that all men deserve to be with their children, What I'm saying, all men have a right to be with their children. I'm not saying all men are good fathers, because you got some terrible dads out there. You know? But the reality is, you can't make me pay for the next man's mistake.
Yeah.
I have another father who can't see his daughter because the mother don't like his girlfriend, but yet she's shocked up with a dude. What a record. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. Or she didn't like what his girlfriend bought her, so she don't want her over there no more. Come on, people.
Bullshit.
Come on, people. This is just crazy. You know.
But I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I think because this is the first one we've done.
Yeah.
And every Monday around 9:30, I really want to do this, and we're gonna come up with.
Well, just let me know.
We're gonna definitely come up with some topics. In the replay, I'm gonna be able to edit it and put your website and all your social media, you know, the stream and all. You know, hold on. Let me show off just a little bit. You know. Well,
I got another one after this one, so you wasn't the only one for the day.
Exactly. So, you know, we're going, you know, I definitely appreciate you, you know, jumping online with me.
Hey, that's fine, man. Just put the website up there. Hit me back. We can do it again, because one of the goals for me for this year is to reach as many dads as I can. And I just want them to be better dads. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to be a perfect dad. I'm just saying, listen, if this guy's going to try, let's help him make it happen.
Exactly.
The kids deserve better. So let's put it like that. The children deserve better.
Because, and I'll be honest with you, the way I want to present this stuff is not in like some of these people, these relationship guru people, where they separating, you know, you got.
Well, you're going to need a mental health counselor, because it's going to get mentally.
Shit, it's mental now.
Yeah.
It's mental.
And some just won't refuse, won't accept the fact they need help. Well, I want to try to help him be a better dad, but I don't know how. Well, let someone know. We'll reach out. We'll try to work that out with you.
All right.
Yeah. You know.
Oliver, tell them where to find you, friend.
Well, you can find me at www.thelanier.org. We're located at 1629 K Street Northwest, Suite 300. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Again, our goal is to help dads be better dads. We're not trying to hurt anyone. We're not trying to disappoint anyone. We need to put our children first. Amen. And there is no perfect parenting out here. So if you want to do better, do better. We got you.
All right. Hey, you guys. Great session for the first one. This is some mental type of situation. We're definitely going to do this again next Monday. Oliver, I appreciate you. Love you.
It's a blessing, man.
See you next time.
All right.